All right, here we go. Welcome to the Treehouse podcast. What is this? Yeah, the first
The
episode.
very first one.
Yesterday we did a test run to kind of like get the grip of things and to kind of like prep ourselves for the first one. Kind of just a test run. But today I'm joined by Ethan, Jaren, Saad, Garrett, and Avery Tindo, whose mic is muted for some reason. All right, so to begin this podcast, I think we're going to be discussing the coronavirus. Actually, Ethan, I'm just going to let you take over this part because I'm not exactly sure what you were talking about with the existential
planet.
crisis.
Existential risk is
Yeah.
what I just talked about today, and it's luckily like what we're living through. Like it's a crisis. But the definition of existential risk doesn't apply to it.
What is the definition?
It's an event
This is
that
why I have Google.
that can wipe out all human life like indefinitely. Like there's no escape. There's absolutely nothing we can do about it. I think that the term that was used when it comes to crises like this is placement and time, or positioning and time. So if we have time to combat an extinction level event, it's not an existential risk. If we have
Yeah.
a different placement, like let's say all of Europe perishes in another black plague, that would be a tragedy. But the definition of existential risk would be the complete destruction of all humanity. And what these two guys were talking about was what caught me off guard the most was they said technically nuclear war is not an existential crisis or an existential risk because
How come?
it's not total. It's not like a total clean slate. It's not a complete wipe of the human species. After there would be probably a nuclear winter, but there's still a chance that someone would survive.
Right.
And like there's
We need
still
more than-
opportunity that the human race could rebuild. And the whole idea is of
really-
existential risk is that humankind cannot possibly rebuild after it.
So really, there's nothing that could actually be considered an existential risk, then, right?
Celestial
I would say-
events could be considered
There's,
that.
there's
like
always
this-
that one chance that somebody will survive and start
Who
over.
the
I-
fuck would survive a giant asteroid colliding into Earth? You
Yeah.
have to
That's what I
be
was just about to
Superman.
say.
Dinosaur alligators,
Dinosaurs did not survive it. It was the bugs and small animals that did.
the mammals.
Still something survived.
Mhm.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it wouldn't be humans.
Although it was a planet-threatening event, it was not an existential risk. And I think it's interesting how
Wait. You said existential risk. A black plague would be an existential
it
risk,
would
right?
not be.
No, it would not be.
Would not be.
Because-
Okay.
Good
Because
portion of people would
humans,
survive.
humans could. Some people have antibodies to diseases. Like there's not.
Okay, so an existential risk would be like the sun burning out.
Exactly a
Yes.
supernova that would
Nobody would
collapse
survive.
the Earth
Yes.
indefinitely, and there was no possible way for mankind to rebuild.
Okay.
afterwards.
Now I'm
Like regardless
understanding.
of time, like 10,000. Like if you think we collapse into anarchy, like 10,000 years from now, we'll probably it'll definitely be a new normal, but mankind will rebuild to a certain civilized state, like regardless of chronological.
It probably
order.
wouldn't be the same mankind we see today, but
No.
it'd be a very
It'd
similar
still
form.
be alive. We'd still be, trucking. What else they talked about was, these two guys that I listened to. They talked about what would happen after an existential crisis, and how cool it would be to think about, how the planet would kind of reclaim the things we've done and revert back. So you'd see these great cities that have been monuments of trade and international prowess, and they would just be retaken by the Earth. And I just thought that
There's-
idea was really cool too.
There's actually I know there's a series on YouTube.
Yeah, I
Right
know
on.
what you're talking about.
It
Mhm.
shows like what would happen, like one day after Earth, 2 days after, like a month after Earth,
Oh, yeah.
a couple months after Earth, and then like a whole year, and then the whole 50 years.
Yeah.
I
That was
think
with
within
Mr. Rose.
a year, within a year, everything's gonna be shut down. No electricity, no nothing. Most like buildings would still be up. Our dams would be. Some of them would be up. Some of them would be overtaken by water.
Hmm.
And but like within a year, plants would be growing in parts of New York, and it'd be like overgrown by uh, plants, and animals would start to go into the cities.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so it's life after people, and it's just yeah, it just goes into
Is that
yeah,
discomforting
so
to think about
it's
to you
life
guys?
after people. Not really, actually.
I
Because
Not
I
at
used
all.
to feel really
It
uncomfortable.
won't be our
about
problem.
humans
Yeah.
are actually kind of a plague.
I like that
Humans
attitude.
are a plague.
That's true.
I find
We
it
kinda are.
almost peaceful.
I do
Yeah.
too.
It's weird.
As a kid, I used to get really uncomfortable with it. There was this series my parents wanted me to watch, and I was 12 maybe, and I was a little younger, and being scared of the dark, I was still kind of wound up with that. And
Still scared of the dark.
the premise was near human extinction, and I was like, I can't handle this. I can't watch. Like, I actually
Yeah,
couldn't
it
physically
gave me
watch it.
anxiety as a kid too, but now I'm just kind of more. I'm kind of just more neutral to the fact of, yeah, I mean, there's gonna be one day where humans aren't top of the food chain anymore, or
Kind of
we're
just
all gonna be
the
dead.
idea now.
I feel like
I
it's gonna be
wouldn't
out of their
call-
own hand.
I don't think we're at the top of the food chain. I don't think we're in the food chain at all anymore.
I think the humans think we are. We think
No, I think we're in
The
just
humans.
a total different
Spectrum.
area. Yeah, a totally
Yeah.
different spectrum. Because to be part of the food chain, you have to be out there hunting or being hunted. We're not doing either.
Yeah, we're not part of an ecosystem. You're
We've
considered
ascended
to
to
a
be
different
part of
plane
one.
of
It's a
existence.
synthetic
We're-
one.
Yeah, we're reaping the advantages of other animals, and that's about it. Like we're almost untouchable.
Oh, man, this is a topic me and Jacob discussed that one night when everyone was gone. Was the differences in empathy between mankind and animal kind, and we got into a really interesting discussion. It eventually evolved into theology and the ideas of right and wrong, which I don't want to get into today because I want to kind of focus on that life after mankind effect. But that was a really cool.
What's the topic for today? Do we have one?
It's supposed to be the,
Existential
senior
risk
thing.
and
Exits. Yeah.
yeah.
that.
I feel weird talking about the senior thing without everyone here.
Now the only person missing is Jacob.
Yeah, it's Jacob.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I know he had some thoughts. He said he wanted to talk about it a lot.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna take something big to be able to wipe away the human race just because of how smart we are. No matter how much I hate to say it, sometimes we are a very smart species.
Yeah.
My
Sometimes.
yeah, most of us.
We've come a
I would-
long way.
We have.
Yeah.
The few people that we have interact with on a daily basis, I don't think they can undermine the big strides we've made as a species.
No,
So
Fun fact: the United States is actually quite stupid.
yes,
Yep.
In a
yes.
weird way. I think the stat is like almost 10% of the U.S. population doesn't qualify for basic military.
you're kidding.
Yeah. Let me look it up real quick.
That doesn't surprise me though. We need people to do our basic shit, like
Well,
clean floors.
It makes
Literally,
sense that it'd be like
basic-
that because
Basic military is like mopping a floor, and they do not qualify. For
no,
that.
but
Do,
you
are
wouldn't
the-
trust everyone to do that. Still, though, you still
That is
want a
true.
relatively
Basic mi-
competent person. And when you look at
Basic-
numbers like that, you look at them relatively. Even if as a whole we improved, it'd probably still be 10% because relative to one another is how they determine how good we are.
If you're looking at that 10% number, is it including people who are like have disabilities and other things that wouldn't even
That's what I
qualify
was
for the
just
military in the
I'm-
first
I'm not
place, or like
sure.
their age?
I don't think it would be that. I think it's the 10% of people that are
Normal.
like, yeah, not normal, of age to enlist
Hey,
too.
Joe, did you see that?
What?
See
The
what?
camera went super out of focus. It looked like a
It's
foggy
been doing
mirror.
that for the past 5 minutes, actually.
Yeah, it keeps going
Yeah.
in and out. It's like zooming. Here we go.
You're on a different plane of existence right now, dude.
I'm ascending to super consciousness.
Yeah. All right. So now moving on. Well, wait. Are we wrapped up with that fucking shit yet? Because
I think we're
that
good.
was pretty interesting, in my opinion. Like,
It
just
is.
the whole
I'll have to look into it. Another one that they said actually was
I'm looking it up right now.
volcanic activity. Like high levels of volcanic activity could.
Okay,
actually
maybe I was
be an
wrong here.
existential risk.
Actually, I'm getting a lot of sites that are saying up to 70%, which I don't think that's right though.
Mm-hmm.
Approximately
What are the
70% would
71%.
accept, or 70% would not.
Hold on, here we go. Approximately 71% of the 34 million 17 to 24-year-olds in the U.S. would not qualify for military service because of the reasons related to health, physical appearance, and educational background.
Okay,
According to
so
the-
that is
according
including
to the
people with
Pentagon.
disabilities.
That is still an insane amount, though.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they'd probably
That-
look
that
at
is
your
pretty
GPA too.
I mean,
They do.
the way I like to put it is
Just think
how
about
many,
it.
the amount of kids nowadays that have mental issues is just extraordinary.
Yeah.
Oh
I
yeah,
think-
that's
I
true too.
Honestly, I don't think it's changed from the past. I think it's just more of a thing that we notice now.
I think it has
Because,
though,
like,
Jaren.
Back
Do you know
in the
that?
day, like back in the day, like if your kid had like a mental disability, the parent would try to cover it up, or they would just tell them, no, you don't have anything.
No,
You're
you don't
fine."
have anything. You're fine.
Yeah,
Jaren, do you know?
it'd be out of the normal for that.
But
Another-
psychology is also like a relatively new form of study too.
Yeah,
So we
You know
have a
that-
lot more therapists now than before.
You know that stat that gets thrown around that's like, high school students are like, under the same stress as like,
psychiatric patient back in like
Thank
the
you.
70s or something.
I feel
Yeah.
like that's fake.
I don't know. I feel
That
like it's fake
definitely
too.
is.
That's.
But if it's true, then
High schoolers these days are definitely under a lot more stress than high schoolers back in like
Mm-mm.
a few decades.
I would say high schoolers like ourselves are. I wouldn't say a majority.
Yeah,
well,
'cause
high
you get those
schoolers like
kids that-
ourselves are, born in the 2000s. So
that is true.
I'm
what?
talking about people that actually,
the kids
somewhat
that
put
just
effort
yeah
into.
go through school without
schoolwork.
trying.
but what has forced people not to put in effort?
Nothing.
What do you mean nothing?
I think some
You don't
feel
just-
beaten down.
Yeah,
to-
you don't
to
just go into something and like prepare yourself to fail. There's something that pushes you to fail.
It's not. It's either a dislike for the schooling system. I mean, like,
Some people
there's-
just don't care.
there's
Yeah.
plenty of
Yeah.
kids at our school that just didn't want to put any effort in because
Or like,
I think
they
I
weren't
think
interested in school. I mean, they had other interests.
Yeah. Hey guys,
Yeah.
we got a
trade school.
live chat. All right, this is coming from Noah. He said thoughts on 2020 graduates.
All we were talking about. We're gonna
Yes.
talk about that. So that's perfect, actually.
Yeah. So with how shit is going down right now, it really I feel like I'm not gonna lie, like when we went into the high school to take the pictures and shit, and we had to go in there with our cap and gowns, that shit was underwhelming. I feel like they literally had it set up like a prison line. Where
That
you'd
is
go,
true.
you'd go in with your cap and gown, you'd take your mug shot, then you'd get all your shit, and then leave the fucking building.
it was a
Yeah.
good thing we did that when we did, because the governor today just shut down, or like said we can't do anything else like that.
That
Really. So
wow,
what's
yeah.
what's gonna happen with our?
Well, yeah, what does that mean with the
drive-thru?
locker cleanup for me?
At McDonald's.
We can't do stuff like that
Yeah.
anymore until all of it's over. And
What about
like our drive-through
McDonald's drive-thru?
graduation, that's done.
That's
Yeah.
Can't do
canceled.
that.
No.
Well, Mr.
No
Snow didn't say
McDonald's,
anything, but
no
governor
McDonald's
said we
diploma.
can't.
Yeah.
When did you say that, AJ?
Our McDonald's
Today.
drive-thru. No.
Okay.
Do you
We'll
guys
probably get
support the
an email
governor though?
tomorrow morning.
What?
By what?
Do you guys support the governor in his decision though?
Okay.
I don't
Extending
support him in
it or
general.
Canceling it.
All I have to say is, with a person in power like that, they have people like giving them facts. They have people behind them that's supporting them with their decisions. It's not just a decision they make
it's
up by themselves. There's people giving them facts, giving them the science, giving them suggestions. There are people that have degrees and people that are educated in the subject of something
Yeah,
like this.
it's not just
So-
the governor.
Yes, I may not support the person itself, but I'd support anybody in power if they're listening to their advisors,
Right.
because their advisors are pretty smart people. So I can't. I'd rather be safer than sorry.
Yeah.
I mean, the situation sucks, but
Yeah.
suck it up, Buttercup. I mean,
Suck
what
it
else
up,
could we say?
We're doing our civil duty.
Illinois also had it a little bit worse than some other states too. Like
Zoom call
We're also more
graduation.
compact. We have
Yeah,
like 3 million people
Chicago,
in one.
it's Chicago that messed us all up.
Mhm.
If we just get rid of Chicago, if we just drop a nuke on them,
What is the population of Chicago?
A few million. What's your guys' thoughts on the like southern states that are
That's
like
exactly-
repealing the stay-at-home orders? They're lifting them, and they're like, yeah, go back to whatever the fuck you guys are doing.
3
Yeah.
million
I
almost.
Well, a lot
find
of
that
people are
incredibly
unemployed, though.
irresponsible.
Chicago is
No, but
2.7.
the thing is, there's a lot of people unemployed, and so now
Yeah.
you have people.
That part I understand, but overall, I think going back to it this soon, that's gonna destroy all the hard work we've had.
Yeah, this is like taking one step forward and two steps back. Like really, like
Okay,
everybody's
What was
The
the
death rates.
amount of states? 21? Was it 21 states that were going back to somewhat restricted openings of small business?
yeah, I believe
Have
so.
we
Yeah,
yet? Has
21.
Alright,
I
Can I
saw
be-
in the news earlier.
Pina
Can I
Jelly.
be-
Hi.
and the jelly's
She's
here?
watching. Yeah.
Oh, she's watching.
I made
Okay,
her
anyways.
watch.
There was two options to this disease. There was leveling out the curve or letting the curve do its thing.
Was it Sweden or Norway
The
that's doing
business
the
cycle.
second one right now?
I feel
If you-
yeah.
Well, the thing is, if you let the curve do its thing, it's gonna only take a couple of weeks, but a lot of people die.
Yeah.
Obviously, a lot of people dying is bad, and it probably.
yeah.
You fucking monster.
I'm not saying that's a good idea. But hear me out.
Fine.
This would have ended 3 weeks in. We would have gotten a lot of old people to die because the death rates of younger is it's below 1%. And anybody that tells me otherwise is, yes, a lot of people would die. Our social security would be better off because of it.
Mm-hmm.
Our overpopulation, if that's even a thing in the United States, would be better off also. I'm not saying it's a good thing if a lot of people die. I know I'm
think
smiling right now
there should
because
be a
I can hear
disclaimer that
myself.
Assad is not a genocidal maniac.
No, I'm not.
Genocidal psychopath.
Are you
You
sure?
absolute
It wouldn't
madman.
have been I wouldn't complain if they would let it go through and I would have been able to finish my track season out, finish my high school out. I know
You
it
just
sounds
have a
very
bunch of people
selfish.
coughing near you, bro. You're just like
Sod is
people are
dying.
dying at the
I
track
would've-
meet, dude.
Well, the
Him
thing is-
personally, it wouldn't matter. He's a young dude. His immune
Yes,
He's
system-
willing to
personally,
step
wouldn't
on these
Oh my
elderly
God.
to get it up in life.
Hey,
It's really,
That's,
all
that's
I'm
literally
saying-
what he's doing.
yeah.
Hey, Garrett, all I'm saying, if I'm 80, 70, 60, like, I've had my time. I'm going to see my grandkids. I'm going to say goodbye.
Okay. I
Like-
mean, that's you may
I've had my life.
I don't think you should be able to
I'm
say
going to let
that
the
until
young
you get
kids
there.
live.
Yeah, you may be okay with
Hey,
death,
man.
but maybe
Yeah.
your kids, if you ever have kids, they're not okay with you dying because of some disease.
Jaren, it's going to happen sooner or later, my man. Like,
I'm
if
not
you're
So
saying
why
that
not
at all.
sooner?
I'm not.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Exactly.
It's just better to die sooner than late.
Yeah.
I don't know. In my current position right now, I wouldn't have been mad if they would have done that. I totally understand the situation I'm in, and I'm okay with it. And I'm more than okay with it, actually. I should say that. It's just some part of me thinks what would have happened if we would have let the curve do its thing.
Sod is whack.
Yeah, I saw that.
I'm not
Nice.
normal.
I don't
I think-
think it would be as quick as you say.
Yeah, it wouldn't be as quick. Definitely not.
Well, they say that the curve would have
Okie dokie.
taken 3 to 4 weeks, or three to four times longer if you flatten out the curve. If it takes longer. So right now, if it was to end tomorrow, or end of May, let's say.
Yeah.
What is that? 3 months? It would have taken 1 month.
Hmm.
Well, you can't forget there's also people with altered immune systems who'd also die.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Regardless
That's just
of age.
survival of the fittest at that point.
Dude, come. Why are you so
Yeah,
like?
don't-
That is not true.
Am I
I'm
wrong?
very-
Dude,
Am I
okay.
wrong?
You are
Tell me-
wrong
There have been people who have been
I'm a very
completely
negative
healthy.
about this.
There was a report of a 17-year-old with no underlying conditions, and he caught the coronavirus. He had to be admitted into the ICU, and 2 days later he died. He had nothing.
That's your immune system not being strong.
Oh.
That's not
He was into the cigs.
Sucked.
Oh, true.
they-
What if he was
Yeah, what if
vaping?
he was sigging?
The
Yeah.
Serbian in the
all,
upper right's
all I'm
looking
saying
cute.
is like
Caleb just said that you're looking like a snack, Caleb. Or fucking sad. Yeah, cool.
thank
Oh,
you,
it's
Caleb.
Snack
That
on
make me
himself.
blush. Oh my god.
The
It's
Serbian in
Ramadan.
the upper right is
Nobody's
looking
listening.
cute.
That's Ramadan. Yo.
It's Ramadan.
We're all talking at one
Pretty-
time.
I'm usually a pretty negative person. Like, you know, I'm one of those people that are like, you know,
Pessimistic.
survival. Yeah, survival.
Judge people before you get to know them.
Yeah,
Not
so,
normally you
but I'm more of a fend for yourself kind of guy. You know, do what you want. I'll just fend for myself.
Yeah.
Freaking like that.
Stick
But
to your guns.
being,
That's
saying,
a good
saying that,
post-apocalyptic persona to
yeah,
assume.
but saying that, you know, it's survival of the fittest like that with a disease like
I feel like
just-
like, what about Ebola? What
You're acting like this isn't the first time it ever happened. There's plenty
Well,
of
Ebola
times
is
that's
far
happened.
different. Ebola causes internal hemorrhaging.
You pretty much shit out your
You're dying,
organs.
You're bleeding out of your eyes. Yeah.
It's a lot
Yeah.
more deadly.
And that affects
Honest-
everyone.
Honestly, I think shitting out my organs would be pretty cool.
Yeah, you'd lose some weight.
All right, dude. I guess I'm gonna go get Ebola. I'm gonna go to Africa. I'm gonna fly
Yeah.
back here and just start
Oh,
infecting everybody.
Jaren, you'd burn off that stubborn body.
Yeah, for sure.
Hell yeah.
Oh, please. We're not even gonna talk about stubborn body fat. Have you seen me?
Yeah, you're kind of fat.
You do that on purpose.
Kinda. Me?
Yeah, you're right.
Me?
No. We went from 7 to 3. Jeez.
No, we're at 4. Don't worry. Noah said our immune system is great and all, but COVID can still cause permanent lung damage. You know, I heard about that. If you
It
get
is.
corona and Saad, here's the thing. What if it's survival of the fittest, but you get it and then you get permanent lung damage? Then, like when you're 30, you just die because your lungs aren't strong enough to keep you going.
You realize that?
Die
Okay,
of heart
so,
disease first.
what happens with almost any disease that we're talking about, unless this is like completely nothing that we've ever seen before, which I doubt it because we've seen corona before. It's just another strand of corona. Anyways, any disease, there's going to be a group of people that get an immunity to it.
No human ever so far has gotten immunity from coronavirus except those
Yes,
who've recovered.
because not everyone. Yeah,
Actually,
because, like,
we don't know that. There could have been someone with
Thank you.
asymptomatic, like they could have been asymptomatic and the virus could have run its course and they wouldn't have even known it.
Yeah,
there's
The virus
I'm
was
talking-
living in their cells and already
There's
had
people.
antibodies.
Young people can be hosts for it, and not even like it may not even affect them that much. There's people that have gotten it, like, and passed it as a normal flu. What you're doing is you're looking at like the 1% of like cases where it causes permanent damage or it kills.
I don't think it's 1%.
It's less than
Closer
1%.
to 3
It's-
last time
I would suggest looking up that statistic.
Yeah,
Less-
you know, I'm gonna look that
less-
up real quick.
Less
That's
claims.
a little sketchy.
on the topic with like having the coronavirus, like they're starting to test people who aren't sick. They're like testing their blood for antibodies to
Yeah.
defend against the coronavirus, and they're like estimating that over 2.7 million people in New York had the coronavirus and didn't
Holy
even
cow.
know it.
Yeah, exacy.
Well, yeah, but New York is like a cesspit, so they'd naturally be resistant to it.
They're resistant to anything that involves the flu or
Yeah.
street urine.
It's like Europe.
Exactly.
Before we move on with the stream, I want to say thanks to the 4 viewers. Jaren, I'm pretty sure you're one of them.
Yeah.
All right, the 3
I'm the
viewers.
other.
Nice.
I'm just checking the comments.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm like on my screen I have like half of the stream being the Discord call and then half of it monitoring the stream. We have 4 viewers right now, 28 playbacks, and then I have live chat also. It's kind of good. All right, cool. We have 4 now. Well, not including Jaren.
It's
Jaren's
Jaren.
nobody. Yeah, thanks a lot, Jaren. God.
Are you including
Yeah,
me?
it's on my phone right now.
Are you
AJ, are you watching it too, AJ?
Yeah.
You asked
We
me.
can't.
You're throwing off our statistics.
Yeah, you're throwing the numbers off, man.
I'm trying to look at the
Just
comments
like
also.
coronavirus. I can bring up the
okay.
comments
Adrian,
as they happen.
Adrian's
Yeah,
the czar. He'll do it.
Yeah, I'll bring
Why
up
We
the
not?
live
can't,
chat.
we can't be
Really?
fudging the
It
numbers, man.
says it's up to 6.
Mhm.
Okay, I'm
Yeah,
not watching.
but Caleb called you a Serbian, Sod.
Yeah.
Tell Caleb that I'm gonna kill him with kindness and that I
like-
love him.
Is kindness the name of your bomb?
Hey, smell this. This kind of smells like chloroform.
Tell
Man,
Caleb
does this
don't
smell
mess
like
with
I
the
think
lad from the
Serbia's
Baltic
claims
states.
were quite reputable on Albania, if I'm being honest.
What were these
What,
claims?
what claims? Do you remember what those claims were?
Yeah, they claimed the land you guys had, and they basically tried to conquer you guys.
Yeah, do you know how that worked or why they claimed the land or
You just
anything else?
described the Baltic states.
Or
for the
how
past
they
1,000
like
years.
tried taking us over?
They wanted it, and they tried to conquer you guys. What else is?
Yeah.
I haven't looked too far into it.
Noah said, "Is anyone really doing e-learning?" You know what? I was doing
No.
it when they assigned it,
Yes.
and then Mr. Sidaro said that if your third quarter grades are good, it carries over. So I was just like, "Yeah, fuck that. I'm not doing the budget."
Yeah.
97% of people that get it
Shut up, Sod.
are in mild condition. 3% are in serious or critical condition.
What about the lung thing that you were talking about? The permanent lung damage post disease.
Yep.
82%
I'm
of
gonna
people
talk
that
now.
get it. I'm trying to still find the lung thing. I can't seem to find the lung thing.
As long as you do 75% of your work in
Brazil's
Are
getting
you still watching the stream?
Brazil's
No.
getting pooped
Alright,
over right now.
as long as you do 75% of the homework,
Brazil?
then
Are you looking at
Brazil
the Are you looking at the statistics for infection rates?
Brazil, I think. Yeah, I'm looking at some other things right now. I'm trying to find.
Oh wait, can we talk about Sweden next as well?
Actually, yeah, that's just what I was gonna. I want to
what
talk
happened
about
in Sweden?
because Sweden's doing the second option Son was talking about was letting the curve do its thing.
And it basically ran rampant.
Guys,
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
but
to be
Sweden's
fair,
numbers
they
aren't
didn't
bad right
expect-
now.
To be fair, they did it expecting a lot of old people wouldn't die because they were able to test enough to root out the people and quarantine the people who had it. As it turns out, they were completely wrong,
Oh.
and now it's rampant.
Yeah, I talked to someone, and they had family over in Scotland, and
Uh-oh.
the
My homeland.
the person thought their cousin got infected, and their cousin went and got tested for it, and then they put the cousin in a room with a whole bunch of other people who had tested positive for COVID-19, and then when the test came back, it came back negative.
But they were
But they got positive, right?
catch
Yeah,
22.
they put him in the room with a whole bunch of other people with COVID-19, and then she ended up actually getting it.
okay,
That's-
hear me out here. Hear me out. What if we do the thing like the neighborhood moms did back in the chicken pox days? What if we have COVID parties?
Oh hell yeah, dude. Just
I
infect-
gotta
So,
see if that helps. I
in
gotta see
order-
if that helps the folks.
In order to make this go faster, we just find one person that has it, and then we just, chill with them for a week. And whoever survives just survives.
I mean,
DeKalb County has 76 confirmed cases.
That is so
That's
fucking.
it?
I swear to God, as soon
One
as
death.
There's 2 of them in Plano, isn't there?
I thought
There's
there
a
was
few in
one
Sandwich.
confirmed. Yeah.
Is there?
yeah.
One person at Target got it, and one person from
Kendall is
working,
part of Plano, and
working
There's
at
a Walmart
Walmart.
too,
I
right?
heard
Yeah,
got it. Yep.
Kendall's Plano.
I can check Kendall too.
I'm doing that right now.
Kendall's 218 confirmed
That's so
cases with
scary.
5 deaths.
What's Kane?
Garrett, I want to hear more about Sweden. If
21
you have
new
any more
cases
info
already.
on it.
Kane has 1,000.
oh no, I pretty much said over that.
39 deaths.
Yeah, the what is it?
I kind of want to look up the rates right now.
The health department official for King County is not the smartest person.
Why?
What was that?
She she would wear a mask, and at the meetings she'd have her mask on, and then to talk she'd grab the front of her mask and then pull it down to her neck and talk and put it back up over her face, which defeats the purpose of that part. But then after the meeting, she was trying to get her mask back up over her mouth, so she was using her tongue to lick her mask.
Nice.
Try to bring it up with
Oh
her tongue.
no.
And if stuff actually got on there, then she's just licking all of it up.
Wow.
Have you heard that some people from so like A type blood or B type blood or O type blood, some blood types catch it better than others or have worse effect to it than others?
Dude, did you know that the rate of black people dying from the virus is much higher than white people? I'm being
you're
100% serious. They did a
you're saying
test. And there's
COVID.
Think about okay.
Yes.
Think about it. Think about like clustered areas of Chicago.
I'm talking
Oh, that
about
would make
national.
sense though. No. Think of it this way though. Let's be realistic here. I'm not trying to be like, if I'm talking about plain facts, if we're looking at plain facts, more black inner cities are typically higher percentage of colored people, whereas
Derek said racism.
if
Yeah.
you're looking
As he
if
should.
you're looking at a rural area like this, like our town, or even farther out into the cornfields, like you're looking at predominantly, if not 100% white people.
Dude,
False.
Not 100%.
it's
Not
not
100%.
predominantly,
Yeah,
and it's
black.
not 100%.
It is definitely predominantly white.
Well,
Okay, listen.
consider Plano is still considered a farm town, right? And the majority of their students are.
They're
Plano-
suburban, I thought.
They're a crackdown. That's all they are.
They're suburban.
They still live next to a
suburb.
cornfield.
That doesn't mean
Yeah,
they're not
the
suburban.
The school is next to a cornfield. We're not next to a cornfield. We're next to
Yeah,
a
we are.
Yeah, we
yeah,
are.
we are.
There's one across the street.
Okay, but
Yes.
theirs is literally like 100 feet away. Ours is like,
There's soccer fields in the midst.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
So-
yeah, I guess so. Okay.
I guess you can consider part of it suburban and then another part more rural. But I mean, just the difference in like between our towns. What we have 98% of our school is white or other,
Mhm.
and what's I don't know the percentages for Plano, but I know it's like crazy different.
Yeah, it's a huge difference.
Do you feel like Sandwich is actually a racist town?
No.
Like,
Slightly.
it's known...
I think all the idiots are racist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do
all
you mean by
the
idiots? Like, you're...
I
jocks,
think
football jocks.
Yeah.
Okay.
No,
Okay.
no, not
Not-
all of them.
Thanks a lot, Garrett and AJ. You guys are assholes.
Get the hell out of here.
Excuse me?
We don't allow racists in this school.
Listen. I'm Cherokee. Okay. I'm the most oppressed minority here.
Yeah, I'm like Blackfoot or something weird like that. Yeah.
Blackfoot?
Yeah.
I got a
Get wrecked.
Whitefoot.
It's
You
a
do.
little tan. Yeah.
It's probably
All right,
yours.
so a study that came out of Wuhan, China, about a month
Wuhan,
back.
not Wuhan.
Oh boy, we can't trust
Whatever.
those numbers.
We trust
Anyway,
you?
Yeah.
yeah.
Dude, they're rigging those
credible
numbers.
doctors. There's some credible doctors on this one. It says that type A blood was 31% percent chance of getting it. Type B is 24. Type AB is 9% chance of getting it, and type O had a 34% chance of getting it.
Heck yeah.
I only
AB
trust
gang.
North
AB.
Korea.
I don't even know what mine
So
is.
type AB had a lower chance of getting it and being affected by it.
Be more, bitch. Why would you do
Yeah,
that?
there we go.
Type
There
B
we go.
and type O are kind of in the same position. They're kind of more fucked. Or type A and type O are kind of more fucked, and type
What-
B is kind of like.
Isn't O negative the most like
Rare? Yes. My mom and brother have it.
Isn't that the
That's
universal
crazy.
one though?
Yeah, it's universal. So like, if Saad got
A
shot and
negative?
he has type A blood, someone that's O negative could give him blood and it would work fine. But
Yeah.
if the person with O negative blood got shot, Saad would not be able to give them blood.
Yeah.
That's
Only O
fascinating.
negative can give.
Hey, you guys are
blood
kinda
to
screwed.
O negative.
O negative kids
Yeah.
are kind of screwed though.
Okay, I have
Yeah.
a question.
You're like
Do you know
blood
the
banks.
cover? Look at the cover of the live. Hold on, ready?
But
Yeah, it's.
you guys know about
That's the thumbnail. No wonder we
Yeah.
have fucking 3 viewers.
We
dude.
only have-
I have a question.
Yeah.
Let's hear it, AJ.
If you drink your blood, does that like say someone needed a blood transfusion, could they just drink it and then it eventually get in there? Does
No.
that not work?
No,
No.
it'd go straight to your
No.
stomach.
And then you
What
digest.
happens-
You try to digest it.
Stomach
Like,
Because I remember when I was younger, I accidentally pushed, like, this was back when I was way younger. My mom ran, like, a babysitting and home business. I like, pushed a kid into a crib, and he, like, his head hit it, and his head started bleeding. And I was like, you need to lick that blood up so it gets back in your body. And I made him lick his own blood up.
You are
that's how
a
the kids
asshole.
you made him go limitless. You made him do limitless.
It's a forest.
Dying on the ground, cracked head, just
You know, all that happens is that your body instantly kills the cells that go into your stomach acid. So all those blood cells are getting killed.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Mr.
also don't drink
Sadu,
your own blood.
PhD. That's awesome. 'Cause
I'm not. No, that's just common sense.
Yeah, it
And
is.
then,
Because the
like,
stomach acid will destroy it.
Whatever like iron and stuff you have in your blood cells though would be regenerated back into your body.
Yep.
You'd lose some of it because we're not perfect and our digestive system doesn't really pick up everything that goes through our body.
Corn.
that's why we poop.
That's why we poop.
Yeah. Well, we also
Stinky.
poop to get rid of the waste.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, here's a question I've
Okay.
always wondered, right? Because think of it like this. Look at the stuff that you eat and then what you shit out, right? Now hear me out.
Yeah.
If
I
you
shit
eat
purple stuff.
Alright, so
Weird.
for example, Jaren chowing down on popcorn. How much of that is actually absorbed and used in the body versus shit out in his poop?
It just depends what you
It's
eat.
it's
Uh,
it's all depending on fiber content.
Yeah, and what
Yeah.
you eat.
But where does the
Uh,
fiber go?
Straight
Muscle,
through ya.
energy. Oh, not the
Uh,
fiber. I guess the fibers, but
What's it called?
Fiber
The more-
content
the-
depends
You
on how
can't
much
digest
fats,
fiber.
carbohydrates it has.
The healthier things you eat, the more your body's gonna take out of it and use.
That's
The-
why
obviously,
people who eat kale always shit green.
What? I
But
like
that has to do with.
I want to save
the
save some of
coloring.
this for our exercise and like better understanding of food and fitness episode.
yeah, we
But
can.
Alright, well,
the-
over
I
again.
went vegan, or no, not vegan. I went vegetarian for a couple of weeks.
Loser.
I did it.
Loser.
I did it for science, asshole.
for
And
snacks.
Sawyer,
I
Sawyer was
actually
supposed
wanna
to
go-
do it with me, but he dropped out.
I want to do that.
Imagine
That
being a
way you don't
vegan
need pork.
bodybuilder, dude. That would suck balls.
There's
Yeah.
plenty of them, and they all
You
say
get plenty
they
of
feel
carbs.
better off.
Dude, of course they're gonna say that. They're fucking dying inside. They want a burger.
You get
You
a
think
you get a
I'm being
lot more
serious?
Comes from
you get a lot
plants.
more energy, but the amount of poop you take in a day is astounding.
This is the podcast. We're talking about poop amounts and the color of the poop and
Oh,
what you
you
eat.
gotta keep
Okay.
it real.
Yeah, this
So,
is
we're-
real. Shit.
We're extending the subject of health from coronavirus to health to other parts of the body. Like,
Okay, I got a quick story now.
Okay.
So like, as you know, I'm a farmhand, right? I'm a little cowboy over the summer. My summer job.
Yeah, you keep
right?
telling me.
absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah. And so part of it is I have to pick corn in the morning, so I did it with you a
Oh,
few times.
yeah, I did that with you.
And so for breakfast every day, I would have like an ear or two of corn.
Mhm.
And every day of the summer, I would poop out corn because corn doesn't digest; just goes right through you.
the shell doesn't
That is
Straight
why
yeah.
baby.
I hate corn because of that. I can't stand it anymore.
I'm
If-
actually
It's like that
craving
one
some
thing
corn
is-
now.
That sounds pretty good. Corn does sound pretty good now.
No, eating corn every day for the entire summer.
I loved it.
No,
Then why would you do it?
you just go
What did
home.
you have with your corn?
Corn with some side of corn.
Jaren, the reason you poop out corn all the time is instead of putting it in your mouth, you spit it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Corn
how
and-
did you cook the corn? Did you just
No.
have it raw?
No, it's
You
fucking
just
raw.
Eat it raw.
You just had it raw?
Just
It's
go in
sweet
there,
corn.
pick some sweet corn, and then you just eat it.
Yeah, you can eat sweet corn raw.
No, I know you can,
You
but
can eat
if you got
anything
sick of
raw.
it, why didn't you cook it?
We didn't
You're
have a
literally in the middle of a field.
Oh,
You're
you just
you're an Eagle
okay,
Scout.
okay,
You
wait,
just that. You
okay.
just that.
Yeah, I'm an Eagle
You're
Scout. I
working.
can
So
do
you
it.
just ate
Citizens
it.
arrest.
As soon as you become an Eagle Scout, you become immune to some things. You know, like you can eat stuff
Like
raw.
death?
When you're an Eagle Scout, you can just eat stuff raw. It doesn't affect your body.
Do you know wild berries? Like, can you just walk up to a bush and know if they're edible or not?
I know some actually. Yeah.
All right, cool. Well,
Kinda-
don't be like
kinda
Chris
weird to
McCandless
say,
and
but-
fucking die because you ate some moldy
Yeah.
ass berries. Dude, okay. Speaking of Chris McCandless, I just want to talk about English class as a whole. All right, so the content that we learn in English class, do you feel like it should be more focused on comprehension and like words and taking things away from stuff, or do you feel like it should be more story based so that you can learn like themes of stories and like general
Mixture
life
of both.
lessons?
Yeah, a bit of both.
No.
Do you feel
Themes
like
are stupid.
I think grammar should be eliminated for all time.
No.
grammar?
No. I
English
think
class in
yes.
general just
Dude,
needs to
yes.
die in a hole.
Okay,
I find
Ethan?
No.
the only parts of English that really stick with people is underlying themes and morality.
I like
I
how
am-
Mr.
So-
I do agree with you there because I think there's a lot of wisdom to take in some pieces of literature. I'm not talking about the ones they actually give us to read,
Yeah.
but I do think grammar is really important because the basis of grammar is expanding your vocabulary and being able to be more precise when you communicate.
Yeah.
And if you can't really be able to properly communicate, and even now everything's more digital, so you're going to be sending emails, texts, messages. So I think grammar is even more important now.
Yeah.
I think that
I
what
think
they need to
vocabulary is
do,
important. I've just never been
is-
a fan.
I think the homework they put out is just it's a headache more than it is more learning.
I wouldn't
think-
know because I haven't looked at
Busy
it.
work, I feel like.
English
yeah,
is
it's,
due.
it's more busy work than anything. I mean, our own
things.
my own English teacher told us that during school she gives us more busy work than anything else, which confuses me so much. I would rather go home,
What a
read the
bully.
piece that she needs me to read, and then come to school and like talk it out with everyone else, and then capture my mind around it, and her explain why we should be thinking that way instead of here's a piece of paper that's like 3 pages long. It's longer than the text I'm reading. And it's going to take me 3 or 4 times longer. It's going to make me not want to do it, first of all, and get the answers from someone else, and then just listen to our discussion in class and try and do my best off of that to finish the test. Instead of teaching me through the steps of, I just don't think the worksheet's doing it for me. Because the worksheet's supposed to teach you through the thought process, but I don't think that's what it does for me. I think it's more tedious than it is actually thinking me through. I'd rather have one question at the very end that is actual thoughtful question for the piece that I just read than having me do 50 questions on I don't even think setting should be something you should put questions on.
I don't think so either.
I think
Unless
when it
it's
comes
so
to
many different
contextualization, I think setting is incredibly important.
Well, I'm saying if it's very important to the theme, then 100% there should be a question on it. And
Are you talking
But-
more fictional literature here? Are you talking-
Yeah.
Okay, then yeah.
I,
I
well, I
like,
agree with
sometimes-
you, but the part of the reason they do assign so much of this tedious work is because part of that comprehension of learning complex pieces is being able to look at them thoroughly, piece by piece.
But
And
the
so
thing is,
the
they
whole
never
basis
say
of
that.
those worksheets is to make you reread thoroughly. But the problem is, it is tedious and you're not getting anything out of it. Like those Hamlet questions, you weren't getting anything out of it. Like a third of the questions are questions that she actually wanted us to actually, do. They were questions on themes, characterization that she actually
Alright.
wanted us to learn about.
I'll be
Yeah.
right back.
Other questions were, what type of poison did Claudius use to
Hey,
kill
Jaren,
King
pull up the
Hamlet?
stream on your phone.
Y'all ever tried sticking WD-40 down your penis?
No, it's a lubricant, but not that type of lubricant.
not until tomorrow.
Yeah, I kind
I
of
have
like
a-
how Mr. Sanders does his English class.
How does he do it?
I feel like Mr. Sanders cares more about us growing as people than he does, like, with English, basically.
Hmm.
He wants us to get more of the juice out of the stories and everything that we're reading and learning than just the outer parts of it.
Oh man.
Yeah, there it is.
Alright. Okay. AJ.
Yeah.
As being part of the student council and having all these plans for prom, this is kind of like going off topic to what we were just talking about, but with senior graduation and all our prom plans and stuff that we had planned out for our like year, how do you feel about just everything going to shit like last minute?
Well, I had no part with the graduation. Student council didn't do that.
No, what about prom?
Well, with prom, student council also doesn't do that. So I still don't care.
What about
But you're a class president.
the celebration? What about the celebration? You guys were supposed to.
Yeah, you're a president, AJ.
Yeah,
Is
you're
that
a president, man. What the hell?
We missed the speech.
No, okay. How the prom works
You have some.
is
No, I'm talking about what you did with the funds, like after the end of the year, the end of the year celebration they have.
yeah. We hadn't really talked anything
Rip
about
hat.
that because
Rip hat.
that we're gonna do all that stuff like once we got our
That's
shirts
what it-
confirmed and everything. Probably sometime during April we were gonna talk about what we were gonna do, like considering knocker ball and our class trip and everything. But I'm not sure what's gonna happen with the money. Honestly, I don't think Mrs. Hallmeyer likes me as a class president because she doesn't tell me anything.
I'm gonna send
I
you
don't
the
think a
link
lot of
to
people
the
do.
stream
I
and
remember
the
you saying
timestamp.
that.
She didn't tell me I still had to give a graduation speech.
She
I
told
went-
me in my alley.
Yeah.
He doesn't want you.
And she even emailed Tori and told Tori that she'd be announcing me. And I went to the school to get my picture taken, and Mr. Sadaro was there, and he's like, "So, do you have your speech ready?" And I'm like, "I still have to give a speech?" And he's like, "Yeah, Mrs. Hallmeyer should have talked to you about it." I was like, "Well, I didn't get anything." And he's like, "Of course you didn't."
Nice. So you got thrown under the bus there.
You should have written it regardless. He
Well,
probably
okay.
would have let you give it in time.
Okay, Garrett.
My fingers were. I didn't even know that I was supposed to do anything then. If I knew I was, because I still knew I had till like May 17th to write it. So that's what gives me a whole nother 17 days. If I knew that I had to have it then, I would have had it done by then.
Yeah.
Caleb suggested that the extra funds should be split amongst the class officers.
I don't agree with that. You guys would
Yes,
cash out with
I do.
1,000 each.
No, I think
Okay.
I think
Yeah,
it should come to me.
If
as
we
the
Class
president-
split,
Class.
bourgeoisie.
if we
Maybe-
split
maybe
all the money
Caleb can
between the
fill in on
seniors,
Yeah.
it would be great.
How much extra did we actually have? Wasn't it like $3,000 or something?
Something about that. We had a lot more than normal.
Yeah, me and Adrian
That's
were
why-
talking one night, and like if we actually just split it with the entire class, everybody would have got like $32 or something. Because I think we like accounted like 3,000
Yeah, well-
with like 150 students.
Yeah.
But if we split it between just me, Tori, Caleb, and Jacob, that's like $800
That's a
to
lot more,
each of
yeah.
us. So it's like it's our own stimulus check.
Stimulus.
Nice.
Yeah. Derek said rip hat day. Yeah, why did hat day get removed, by the way? I know that happened a few years ago, but why?
So with student council, it's it kind of
Man,
I don't
hats are
agree with
so
this.
disrespectful.
kind of pains me to say this.
Hats are
uh,
super
You said it
disrespectful.
was a safety risk.
A safety risk to have a
You
hat
know-
on.
So you're
Yeah.
thinking
Hear this out.
so
though.
Tommy Sadaro's thinking people are packing Glocks in their top hats now?
No, I think it's Mr. Herzog.
So you get a stocking cap, right? And
You can put a
douse-
knife in a hat.
douse it in chloroform, right? And then
Yeah.
you find the hot chick in the hall, and when nobody's
Ask her
looking,
if it
you know,
smells like
you-
chloroform.
Yeah, you just you know.
Yeah.
Just what you think about all day, Jern?
Chloroform.
Yeah.
Different
Yes.
different methods of chloroform.
But during advisory when I read the history fact of the day for history club, I would hear them talk to Mr. Herzog, and they had their walkie-talkies on, and like they would start
Wow.
screaming through the walkie-talkies like, "There's a hat in the west hallway! There's a hat in the west hallway, Mr. Herzog!" And he'd just like ping back and be like, "Shut up!"
It's like tactical screening of it.
Yeah,
I actually heard that one morning. I was going to the office, and I don't know if it was I think it was Mr. Herzog and Mr. Geip standing in front of the office. And on the north hallway, it was Mr. Sodaro, and a kid was walking towards the office, and Mr. Sodaro goes, "We've got a hat! We've got a hat!" And I hear him screaming it through Mr. Herzog's walkie-talkie.
Dude, why
Yeah.
do they carry walkie-talkies like they're fucking officers, man? That shit
they
literally
gotta-
feels
gotta
like
wait
a
that.
police station.
Yeah.
To hide things from their
Hats and hoods, please. Hats and hoods.
They
Okay.
really
The thing I hate about
fully
that.
believe one of us is gonna be a school shooter.
I feel like
Yeah.
anybody in
I
Sandwich
think there's
could
some
really...
potential candidates.
Look at Saad.
Joker.
He's literally a Serbian. Like he is terrorist
He-
blood.
He's also a beta.
Yeah.
You guys are gonna make me hate you by the end of this.
Shut up.
Like, I don't even know why I'm here anymore.
Okay, but the bigger schools, like I kind of wish that I went to a bigger school because like they're a lot more lenient on rules. Like they're allowed to wear hoods and hats and stuff. Like there's less teacher to
No, thank you. There's more chances of a school shooter.
I find that counterintuitive.
No.
You find
But
that
the thing
bigger
is,
schools
better
face
chance
more
that I'm on the other
violence.
side of
Wait,
this
guys.
with
but
the
the
other
thing is-
1,000 kids.
Braden's
There is
got your
a shooter.
backpack.
But the thing is, in these bigger schools, the principals are able to hide behind kids because there's so many more of them in case of an emergency.
Oh my god, dude.
All I'm saying is, like, in a small school, everyone knows each other. The staff is capable of controlling the kids more often because they're more close knit. Teachers talk amongst themselves. Staff members even above the teachers talk to each other. These problems are communicated quickly with a smaller staff and a smaller number of kids. And when you also take the population down in a smaller school, you're also looking at less potential candidates for something like that.
Yeah. Alright,
So
so...
I'll take my chances in a small
I had
school
some
over
WD-40
before.
that I sprayed on my wall on accident.
Oh, cool.
That was a mistake. I don't want it to stain or anything weird.
Lick it off. Lick it off.
Yeah, you better look that up. You need it back in your body ASAP.
Yeah, like the
Yeah. Alright, guys, so... Do you remember...
Do
Middle
you
school.
remember?
It's been
Yes.
five
Little bit.
years.
I remember a majority of it.
5 fucking years, dude. That's insane.
That's the good old days
About
with
5
Mr.
years.
Rhodes.
Dude,
Wait,
Mr.
can
Rhodes' YouTube channel was
You
god
don't see
tier.
it, do you? You don't see it, do you?
He's an
His whole
animation
version.
now.
Okay.
God, do we?
Did you guys
do you
ever,
know that story, Adrian?
What?
Do you know the you don't see it, do you
You
story?
don't see it, do you?
A do you story?
You don't
You
see
You
it,
don't
do you?
see it, do you? Do you know that story?
No.
Mm-mm.
Okay,
Alright,
tell this.
I'll-
Tell this for the stream.
Since I was there, I'll tell you it. So, normal day of class, we finished our requirements for the school year, and he asked us, would we like to learn algebra or geometry? I think we picked the subject algebra over geometry. He usually teaches geometry, and he hadn't taught algebra in a while. Algebra is pretty simple. Like, I'm sorry, but like, it's pretty simple. At that age and at that occupation, you should be able to teach it. Well, he had gotten stuck on a problem. So he had put it up on the board and he was staring at it and he was almost mumbling, talking to himself, staring at it, pacing back and forth. I was his student that he gave most attention to.
Because you
From the front row.
craved it.
Because you
wanted
demanded it.
it. Yeah.
I did demand it with my presence, but what can I say? An alpha demands his.
Did you have to kiss his
You're
You're making this story all about you now.
Anyways, anyways, I was sitting in the front
This,
row.
this
and-
isn't a Mr. Rhodes story.
Well, it's important that I was sitting in the
Sad
front row
story.
because I was the one he was communicating to throughout this process. But he's sitting up there, he's trying to look at the problem. He paces back and forth, and he's mumbling. And sometimes he says he's got it, but then he backs off, and it doesn't work. And finally, he gets to his breaking point, and he actually looks like he's gone crazy. So he's pacing back and forth again, and his mumbling has gotten louder. And at this point, people are starting to get like a little weirded out. He's kind of like staring across the room. Then he comes back at
the dandruff
the board.
rapidly falls.
Tangent.
Yeah, as he's passing his
Blizzard.
dandruff, he kind of falls. Finally, he gets to the point where like he doesn't know what to do, so he takes a break from the problem. While he's still muttering and still staring at it, he goes to his desk, and under his desk, he grabs the can of Coke that he had under there.
Yep.
Coca-Cola. He pops it open, No, I think it was Mountain Dew. He chugs half
No,
of it.
it's Diet Coke.
It's
He's always
always
had
Diet
Diet
Coke.
Coke.
Oh yeah, it was Diet
He's
Coke.
got a 24
Mr.
pack.
Chugs
Nesbitt's
half of
fucking
it.
Diet Mountain Dew.
Oh my God, Mr.
The guy-
What a guy.
The guy
Talk about
chugs
some
half of
stories
it.
with him. Oh my God.
The guy chugs half of it, crushes it, splatters everywhere, throws it in the trash can, goes over, wipes his hands down a little bit. He pulls out lotion. At this point, I thought this guy was gonna like whip out his dick and start masturbating all over. the
Beat
place.
off.
Yeah, you would.
Yeah.
That is what teachers do.
Yes.
But anyways, he pulls the lotion out and just like squirts a shit ton on his hands, rubs his hands together, and just runs it through his hair. And he's stroking his hair like this, staring at the problem. He's still muttering through this whole thing. And he walks up to the board after doing those crazy events, and he's like, "I got it."
Oh,
Hey,
what a boy, Derek. I like it.
He starts explaining it to me. And he's talking to me throughout the whole process. He's going step by step. At this point, I was terrified. I was an 8th grader. I'm
Lotion
looking
hair,
at this
dude.
man, and I'm terrified. And I'm kind of like sitting there, mouth open, confused. And
Waiting for that dick.
he, he looks at me and goes, "You don't see it, do you?" And at that point, the class erupts into laughter because we actually thought he had gone crazy. Like, that's not something normal to say. Like, "You don't see it, do you?"
Yeah, then
And,
he went to the board and started whipping out equation and stuff, right?
Yeah, he finished the problem. None of us understood. Bell rang. We left, and we left it as the weirdest day in Mr. Rhodes' class ever. And that is something to say because he has had some weird classes.
Yeah.
Garrett, were you in ACC or AT math in 8th grade?
I was in ACC. I was
That is a beta. That is beta.
middle.
right there.
I was in the middle
Yeah.
of the
I-
social tier
I was as
system
well.
that Mr. Rhodes established.
I was in that class. Yeah, do you remember how he would tell us, like, he would talk to our class and be like, "Now, you guys are bright individuals.
Oh yeah.
You are
This is
much
today.
brighter
This is
than the
ACC.
normal math kids, but do I think you guys are on the same level as the AT kids? No, not at all. That's why I don't agree with in high school merging both ACC and AT into
Oh
geometry.
no.
Because
They were quite literally the exact same class.
Yeah.
They were.
All right.
Well-
What's it called? Derek said for a topic, how do you feel about the government releasing the UFO footage? We were discussing this briefly last night.
Yeah, we.
Perfect
And
timing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Literally for us
Very-
and for the government to do something like that.
Yeah. I think they were just waiting for something like this to happen, just to, like, soften the blow, maybe.
Or they created the virus to kill black people. Because if you look
That aliens.
Right.
They
Aliens.
knew the aliens.
Okay, but like honestly though, this is what the media does to like confuse the shit out of people. Like just to create false accusations. Like more black people are dying from it, so the government created it to do it. And people believe that shit.
That's very TMZ-like
Five.
accusation.
Somebody say
Wait,
5
hold on.
True
hours.
media.
Why are black people dying? More black people dying of
There's
it?
more
Is it
people in the higher higher
pigmentation
population
in
of
your
black people in inner cities than white people. White
Okay,
people are
so
more
it's-
spread out
yeah,
into
okay.
the
skin.
rural
So you're
areas.
saying that
It's geography. It's not. It has nothing to do with genetics as we know so far.
well, I mean
Yes.
Yeah,
that
because
study
of their
that released
social-
kind of goes against that.
I thought that was
What
because
study?
of.
I mean, there are some
genetic.
illnesses that are more prone to Caucasians and other races. There are some illnesses that are more prone to African Americans and other
Serbians.
races. And
Wait,
some
what study were you talking about?
Serbians,
Yeah,
Croatians.
I don't know which one you're talking about here.
for me,
And either
No, I
one
was
of-
talking to Adrian. I haven't looked too far into this subject.
What?
Of more black people dying to the coronavirus.
It was a study I saw very briefly on the news. I don't remember the news channel. If it was CNN, I would have like brushed it off completely because they're awful news station. But they pretty much said that like in a study, not really a study, but with analytics, I feel like more have gotten tested because maybe they were paranoid. And I don't know. I don't know. It just seems sketchy. But they say that like there's a 10% increase of African American deaths with the coronavirus than other people.
Oh,
Adrian,
I would argue
No, yeah, that's-
geography.
Carl
I would argue
that's definitely
geography as
true.
well.
It's also because of their. Oh,
They're
go on.
paranoid, right? Like they'd have to be paranoid, or at least more paranoid than other people. And maybe the geography does matter here because
I would argue geography and
I
culturally.
would say geography is
I feel
based
like
on the very limited information we have, based on how it affects different.
Because I mean, yeah, think about the South.
No, I think it's more of an economic problem because they don't.
Yeah.
They have limited access to healthcare. So how are they going to get tested if they
exactly.
want to?
That I was gonna bring up. Yep.
yeah,
And so that's probably why more people die. And
The
if they are getting
geopolitical
sick,
landscape.
they're going to be more hesitant to go to doctors because they wouldn't want to pay the fee
Yeah.
that would come with that.
I also feel like Caucasians in America are also a little bit more. I don't know if the word is arrogant or ignorant.
Cocky Asians. We're Americans. We're all ignorant.
Yeah, we're a little bit more ignorant, and like, when we would brush something like this off, and we like, as you
We
can
did.
see, people are. Yeah,
Yeah.
we're trying to. Like, people are like, there's nothing to worry about. Like, we should continue doing things and going back to business as usual.
it's a little spooky. Not
Well,
gonna lie.
I think that's a bit too much of a generalization because there
Maybe.
are people who are rioting that want these restrictions to get off, but those riots aren't doing a lot because a lot of people are just ignoring those riots because they don't really care.
You know what we should have
They'd
a
rather be
podcast
safe.
on? Riots. Because I have some tea to spill about that.
Riots.
Yeah, some
You have a
people,
lot
the
of
way they
riot
riot or the way they express their rebellion is not effective, and if anything, hurts their argument that they're trying to make. Like, there was a lady I saw that was on the, what is it called? Statue of Liberty. She'd climbed the Statue of Liberty.
Mistake number one.
Yep. Yeah.
No kidding.
Did she do
lady-
something up there?
Climbs. Well, she refused. Yeah, right here. It says that.
You think Lady Liberty is thick or no?
Bro, why would we say yes? Why
Send
would we
pics.
not say yes, Sharon? Come on now.
Okay, here it
She's
is.
French.
A woman climbed the base of the Statue of Liberty on the 4th of July to protest migrant family separations. What did you do? Maybe you brought some awareness to it, but you risked not only workers working there. You're just getting in the way more than anything. If you want to bring awareness to it, bring it somewhere. Bring it through like somewhere useful, somewhere that people can actually do something about it. This isn't doing anything. Like, you're letting the public know, but they're gonna look at you and they're gonna think you're stupid.
You're not taking an affirmative action against it.
Yes, your base is weak for trying to create an argument against protesting migrant family separations. What would make a good base is getting.
It's going more for disruption than it is for the necessity of the actual cause.
Yeah, so I just feel like the people, the way people riot, the way people kind of protest things, isn't the way it should be. Like these parades that are happening, like I'm
They're
okay with
so
them.
fucking stupid. Like there
I
is a
just-
point. There's a point of. AJ. what
Okay,
is
who's
happening?
It's Jaren.
Jaren, is that actually yours?
Not bad.
Nice.
Okay, go ahead, Adrian.
There is a certain amount of human stupidity that shouldn't be reached. But the fucking idiots who crowded streets protesting a virus, do they really expect the virus to just slow down? Hey, no, don't worry. I'm the coronavirus, so we won't infect any more people. You guys are right.
The virus just pulls
We
up to the
respect your
street
freedom
and
of
sees
speech.
everybody.
Yeah, hey, what's up,
Right.
guys? Sorry about the whole virus situation, but
What pisses me off too is the people that stand in the streets and don't allow cars to pass. Like, that's not a form of
like,
As
what are you protesting?
Oh,
Traffic?
as
Have
soon
you-
as
have
the
you seen the
protests
video one?
affect the other people, that's where it gets.
Like,
that's where
back
it gets
in the
to
day.
I
they
mean,
used
it
to
works
protest.
Have you seen the
How does
peanut
that
butter?
work?
because
Garrett?
now you know. Now you know.
You know,
That's
but
our
like,
whole.
you're gonna
But
look
now
at
you
the
know.
people. Yeah, but you
It's
brought negative
effective,
attention
but-
upon yourself.
It's effective, but moral, like, consider, like,
You're
Okay.
everyone's
you're gonna be
individual
hated.
moral standards.
You're gonna be hated by
Yes,
more people because
yes.
you're blocking their fucking commute and where they
Okay,
need to
the
go.
way I like to think of it, back in the civil rights movement, I guess, like Rosa Parks refusing her seat, sit in the back. There's
Peaceful
people that would
protest.
do peaceful protests, go to restaurants, sit down, and refuse to get up. That brings awareness and doesn't show violence.
Neither
How is
does-
that different from people
Yeah.
standing in
Because
streets? It's just
what are they
inconveniencing you. It's
protesting?
not violent.
What are they protesting on the streets?
Whatever
people
they're
leaving
protesting.
their houses.
They need to do something meaningful, you know. But on the streets, how are you gonna protest a virus?
Sitting
It's
in a
not-
bar doesn't help either. Doing a sit-in at a bar.
Well,
If you're protesting the business, then
yeah,
it's fine.
if you're protesting the right to
Well,
sit
it's
in there,
inconvenient to them then. It's inconvenient to the bar.
To the bar. Well,
That's the
yeah,
point,
it
isn't
is.
it?
That's
Yeah.
the part.
yeah.
It's like the protest that went.
People protesting the streets then.
So what I'm trying to get across here is like your protest has to correlate with what you're trying to bring awareness to or stop. So again,
But the
civil
thing
rights
is,
era-
protests aren't going to be convenient. If they were able to find a convenient answer to their problem, they wouldn't be protesting.
Yeah,
The
exactly.
point of protesting is to inconvenient the people who are clearly, in your mind, in the wrong,
Mhm.
in the position
Okay,
of the people who
So how are
are
people
protesting.
How are people that are trying to go into work in their cars early in the morning how are they in the wrong when they're trying to get work
Well,
in the morning?
the people protesting think they're in the wrong. That's why they're protesting.
But what the thing? Okay, let's
It has,
look up
it's,
an
It's to bring
example.
awareness. The people in the car are aware of the issue. They're going to try and solve the issue.
we may not morally
just
If
agree.
they
piss them
can't
off
get to the
enough,
protesters, they'll talk to their senators.
So
we may
you're
not morally agree with their form of protest, but
blocking. I agree with Saad here on this one. Blocking the traffic achieves nothing. Like you're bringing awareness, obviously,
Bringing
what I'm
but
trying to
awareness
say
that's
here-
inconvenience
See, that's-
people.
that's
They,
the- yeah,
they
that's
go,
the-
But
they're
they're
going
going
to
to
have to
fucking-
solve it. This is what MLK did when he protested with civil
that was
rights.
peaceful.
He literally
no. Hold up.
and this is the same thing. No, because he'd block off
disagree with-
malls. He'd block off malls before Easter. He did this. We read this last year in English, Assad. He'd block off the mall, so it inconvenienced people, and he knew everyone was trying to go and shop,
But what was the mall doing?
and that's how
They
why
were-
it worked.
The
But the
mall
mall was
was
discriminating
yeah,
against
segregation.
them.
Well,
So what
The
they
street-
did is they
That's the same
inconvenienced
thing.
the mall.
traffic
Yeah,
isn't
so
doing anything.
what are you
to
doing
grow.
No,
by
it inconvenienced the
inconveniencing the-
customers. The customers wanted an answer, so they'd find
And
an
what
answer.
does that do? That makes the revenue of the mall go down, which screws over the mall, which is gonna force them to make a solution.
Yeah, that's
I
the whole
can't pee
point.
with you guys talking.
Why are you?
So what
are
I'm
you
trying to
pissed?
say
All
is
right,
when you're stopping the people from going to work in the morning, what are you protesting? You're
People going
protesting
to
the
work.
people going to work, or
Yes.
because you're getting a broad
Yes.
amount of people. So you're protesting the economy because you're screwing over the economy in the end.
No, you're not harming the people who think have done you wrong. You're bringing awareness to the issue. Now the people know about the issue, and they're going to try and solve the issue.
Okay,
They're going to
so
talk
the-
to their senators.
so you're gonna annoy them until
so
they
that
do something about
senators
it.
know
yes, that's
and know
that's how
that
protesting
something's wrong.
works.
That's the
I
whole
just
point
thought
of
I'd
protesting.
keep talking to you guys. It's weird.
Just
Nice.
the whole idea of protesting is to cause disruption. We may
A piss bottle. Nice.
nice.
I'd rather
We may-
talk about,
we may
like,
not, we may
10
not
bucks to
agree
drink
with
it.
the way that people are protesting.
Now, if you're protesting, like the what are they called? Like pollution of cars. That's totally understandable if you're stopping traffic because you don't. want
Yeah,
pollution
that
from
makes
cars.
sense.
That would
makes
make sense. I'd be okay with that because you're bringing awareness.
You can bring.
By
The whole point of protesting isn't to make you go, "Oh, I'm okay with that. I agree with." You aren't going to agree with them. You don't agree with them.
no.
That's clear to
It's
them.
not that I
Not
want
They
to
know you
everyone's
don't
gonna
agree with them.
It's that I'm trying.
That's the whole point. They're trying to cause disruption so you can find an agreement with them.
But is that what I'm saying is that disruption helping the cause other than awareness?
yes.
Of course, it's
How?
helping the cause because it's causing
How?
disruption, which needs an answer. That you can't have disruption.
They
in
I
also-
think we
chaos.
should look at
So people
like,
in authority will
specific-
have to answer it and find an agreement to stop it.
Okay, what these people are trying to do by stopping traffic is they're trying to
Thank you,
keep
Jared.
people from going outside and going to places where there's going to be other people. If they just block them in the streets where they're stuck in their own cars by themselves, that's also
Here. Let me find one. Heroes of the healthcare workers. They stop cars in the road. How are stopping people in the road gonna help healthcare?
they're trying to, because the healthcare workers are like, you stay at home so we don't have to stay at work longer, stuff like that. They're trying to get people to stay at their house so that way
Got
healthcare
it.
workers'
Nice.
jobs are easier.
Okay, Derek asked, how much longer
Yeah.
should we stay in quarantine in your opinion?
It depends how many old people we want to die.
Yeah.
Boomers,
As many as
baby.
possible.
So like this is a good example of protesting cars, or protesting people, in the streets. So a small group of frontline healthcare workers dressed in scrubs stood in the middle of a busy street in Denver, Colorado on Sunday to block hundreds of right-wing protesters traveling to demonstrate against government Jared Polis stay-at-home order.
Yeah.
That would be a good
That's-
protest. I can
What's
see.
the
Wasn't
term
there
for
somebody
that?
there was a
that's,
nurse that blocked like a road to the emergency room too, though, right? Didn't I hear about that?
That's so
No, I did not.
stupid.
I could have swore I heard about that. Yeah, I might be wrong though.
Universal healthcare.
She was about to clock off of her shift. She didn't want any more people coming in, so that way she could go home.
That's awesome.
Are you serious?
No, I'm
Yeah, that's. All
I
right.
need
here's
you to
here's
stay
another
outside.
one that I don't necessarily agree with. Hundreds of cars raising black flags head to Jerusalem to protest Israel's anti-democratic measures to fight the coronavirus outbreak, including
That sounds like the Taliban army. Jeez.
and authorizing cyber tracking of civilians. So they're
Okay.
protesting in the streets and stopping cars. Actually, wait a minute. I don't think this is a good example of what I was
Oh
trying to say.
boy.
What are they doing?
Oh no.
What are what doing?
Did
Oh,
Israel use their? Did they gas them like a lot of other
I-
protests?
Okay, man.
No.
God.
What happened is they raised flags.
Not what I
and,
thought you were going.
they're protesting against the restriction of movement. So they didn't want to be stopped by movement because there's restriction. They're tracking citizens through cyber ways, so like through phones, and then they're restricting people from moving too much. And I guess that would be a good way to protest is go into the streets. I'm trying to find a good
The
argument.
thing about going in the streets is you will get covered by the media like so objectively
Here.
because when you see people block traffic online, you're like, wow, that's fucking stupid of them.
Here, these people block traffic in DC because of climate change.
yeah,
Okay.
cars, emissions.
Oh, see, that could work out. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, it could
You're
work
like, go
out.
electric, cunt.
AJ, you watching the stream?
No,
Jaren, are you?
No, it's Derek and somebody else.
All right, cool. I'll keep bringing up the
Yeah,
questions
Ellie's
as
still
people
on there?
ask.
Is who?
Good.
No, now they got off. She was
Yeah,
only
that's,
on for like a few minutes.
So an overall like opinion of the protests in the South, like risking more spread, being close together. What, as like an overall agreement as to you agree with their protest, or you believe it's dangerous more than the
I mean, the people that are
restarting an
protesting,
economy would do.
the people that are protesting I don't know, man. I don't know how to take the side on this one. Anybody else?
I don't think it's really our place to take a side because I don't really know about
We're
your
not
guys'
in that situation.
but most of us aren't completely out of money and out of work.
No, I
But
can
the
agree
people
with
who
that.
are protesting are probably out of savings, out of money. They're probably in debt too already.
Yeah,
What are
I
they
think
supposed
to
those
do?
day-
It's gonna be hard to
it's
find
those
a job,
day-to-day
too.
workers that are getting screwed over right now.
Yeah.
I just think the way to go about it in protesting shouldn't be to risk infecting people who are trying to do the opposite. You know what I'm saying?
I don't agree with big people gathering to fight the stay-at-home orders, but I also don't agree with the people blocking the traffic.
Yeah.
I really don't agree
Yeah.
with any side's protest.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't trying to say like I agree with their protests. I kind of have mixed feelings about it.
Yeah,
But
but
the way they protest is effective. Is basically what I'm trying to say. If you
I
feel
think in
wrong,
this situation,
then you protest like.
I think in this situation it's kind of hard to take a side because the the officials that are making the educated guesses on this, like they really do have people in the background. Like I said earlier, they're like their advisors are really telling them what to do. I don't.
It's just going to be like the president, like the cabinet stuff.
Yeah, it's
Multiple people.
yeah, it's
But
full
the
of
thing is,
doctors,
they're
it's
still
full of
politicians.
scientists.
yeah, that at the end of the day, they have an agenda.
Yeah, and their agenda is to make themselves look as good as possible. So they're gonna want to do the
Yeah.
best that they can for this country to make themselves look good, right?
Yeah.
At the end of the day,
To give that perception.
yes, to give the perception, but in the end goal is the country's benefit.
Most of the time.
Most
Most of the time. Obviously, there are faults in the system. There's always going to be faults in the system.
Whoa.
We're human.
The system.
The system, the matrix. We are in a simulation.
We live in a society.
We live in a society.
Okay. All right,
Calm.
boys. So
We live in a bureaucracy.
we've
No,
so far
don't.
covered some of our
Yeah.
graduation stuff. Seniors are being hurt. The coronavirus extensively about protests and just the
Yeah.
coronavirus and the quarantine in general. Ethan wanted to talk about our next topic, which is our favorite music artists, why we like them, and enthusing about the depth and emotion that that music can make.
This is a very drastic jump. My gosh.
I don't really.
I
have
think
a
we should
favorite
say.
band,
I think
though.
we should save this for next
Yeah.
time. But we
think?
can. I can just kind of do like a preview.
That-
like,
yeah.
Just basically what you
A
said.
little sneak peek
We're
in the
gonna-
next episode. Am I right?
Because
Oh,
I
hell
find everyone kind of has a
We should
connection
be writing
with
these
music in
down.
a different way.
I have
a
these
note-
saved,
I
so-
have notes. written.
Wait, hold on.
Okay,
How
good.
about if everyone writes them down, then we'll go down the list, and everyone will have a day where they'll pick topics. And
Yeah.
then basically,
Sure.
that's topics where
Adri-
we start off, and we can
If
just go
Adrian's
on.
writing
There's a
everything
branch.
down,
Ethan
we
and
can talk
Adrian,
about it before the
we've
podcast.
been writing them down. They've been taking ideas. So
So, do you want to wrap up, Adrian?
All right, yeah. So
How long
uh,
has this been going on for?
an hour and 20 minutes approximately. An hour 17.
More than enough.
That's
That's pretty good. All right, so
hour and 17 minutes. Yep.
yeah. All right, so
Very cool.
I'm gonna wrap this up. First of all, if you're in the audience watching right now, or if you're watching this as it was recorded, thank you so much for tuning in. We appreciate that. We've
Shout out to
discussed
Derek. Am I right?
Derek with the fucking asking the questions. I
Yes.
feel like audience interaction is very important when it comes to podcasts, especially if they're live, because it's like real time interaction. So it's kind of cool to have that shit.
Screen.
And Caleb,
Since
thank you,
we
Caleb
have-
Hester. You're a
Since we
legend.
have a
Beta.
very small
Love it,
audience.
Caleb.
He kept
easier
calling
to-
Saad a beta male and a Serbian. I don't know why, but
Beta
I don't know.
Caleb, we
We're
know
gonna keep
we
that
know where
going.
you live. You're not hiding behind a screen. I hope you know that.
No, I will protect.
I'm happy that
Yeah,
I wasn't
I'm
the one that
I'm
had to
gonna
say
protect
that.
them.
Calling Sod a beta male is an alpha move right there. That is.
Yeah,
it's true.
Listen,
That's an
listen, guys.
assertion.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is I was the one that was called for leadership my freshman year. I don't think any of you guys actually did any leadership programs. Or
I'm in talk.
I was
I'm
invited
literally
yeah,
to
but like
by
you
Mr. Guide, but I
submitted
dropped out.
yourself into that.
Listen,
I
No,
was picked by
you don't. They pick
people
you for
around
talk.
all I heard come out of your mouth was "I'm a bitch."
Yeah,
They-
AJ.
they
Saad,
pick
did
you for
anyone
talk.
ask? Did anyone ask?
I'm also class president.
No.
Yeah, he is
True.
the ultimate leader in high school.
Okay, I think we all know how that came about, but okay.
I mean, it's not like it really matters
I
because
ran in
we're
a Democratic
fucking.
election.
We have not been in school for a month. This is
He rigged the
He's
election
still a
through
leader.
the Holy Spirit.
yeah. Okay, continuing the wrap up. Yeah, so big thanks to everybody, Noah, Caleb, and Derek for all the great questions and comments. yeah, we're gonna wrap this up. I don't know the next time we'll stream this. I know Jacob. Speaking of Jacob, yeah, he really wanted to be a part of this first one, but we texted him like 3 hours ago, like prior to this, and he has just gone MIA. We don't know where he is. or
He's
what
gonna be a little
He's
pissed.
probably
He's gonna be
sleeping.
pissed off. He's gonna be. Hey,
We'll
man,
we'll
what
be
you-"
continuing the subject on other occasions though. So
Yeah,
next-
we're not gonna be able to do these every night.
Yeah, obviously, but I feel like how this is going is pretty good. So yeah, why? Saad, do you have a guitar?
Yeah, I just don't know how to play it.
Wow.
So he just uses it for show, you know.
Yeah, you just
I
literally
pulled it out
pulled
because-
that out. That was impressive. I was fucking looking at your camera and just see that shit.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't even know if it's
What was
tuned.
that?
because-
it's probably not.
Do it again. Do it
Probably
again.
not.
That
I
looks
can't-
just
Outro?
like mine.
Some outro music.
Wait,
I tuned it.
I'm on,
Uh,
my
a
own. You guys
couple-
have to describe this in detail.
Sod's holding a guitar.
Sod and Ethan are both holding a guitar now.
Okay.
Is
All right.
Ethan,
Are we
you
gonna
guys
do a
are
guitar
saying
hero
guitar
battle?
like figuratively for something else, or the guitar?
He is
They're
literally
actual
They're
holding
both
physical
holding a guitar.
guitars.
Anybody know how to
Like
play?
a
'Cause
natural
I don't.
guitar.
All right. Play.
Adrian,
I started to learn, but then my fingers started to hurt and I gave up.
Derek says play through the fire and the flames. Ethan, do you know that?
I
Sod's
don't.
stupid, he doesn't, so. You don't?
How do you
Adrian,
hold your
Adrian
left
can
hand?
do it.
Derek said, "Yeah, I'm really gonna be there for the next podcast." Apple Juice AJ said, "What are your guys' thoughts about Jaren peeing in a bottle so you think his penis is small enough to fit in the hole?" Most definitely.
Who said that?
Yeah.
You said that?
Those are-
Honestly, like, I'll give you a reference. It's a Propel bottle, you know? Just,
So it's
can you
identical.
see how
Dude,
small
drink
that is?
it right now.
We can smell it.
All right, dude. All right.
Fucking wrap it
Fuck
up,
that.
please.
Okay. All right. So yeah, again, just thanks for all the interaction. I think the next episode will be centering around just in depth on music and themes of music and how it could just uplift you or make you feel certain ways.
I think we should also do that episode mixed in with health.
Yeah, health and fitness. I feel like mental
Yeah.
health and all of that should be
hmm
for the next episode.
Yeah.
Softcore porn.
All right. Well, thank you so
Yeah.
much for tuning in. Yeah, we'll continue this. Not sure when, but when we do, we'll post it on our socials, as I've done. Sure, many of you came from that because I've either sent a link or other things. So Right.
I think that's all. That's the only place.
yeah, me and Jaren going crazy with the link posting. So go crazy,
Yeah.
right? Alrighty. So yeah, you guys say your goodbyes now. Say
Peace
thanks.
out, Girl
Adios.
Scout.
Sayonara.
Sayonara.
We don't speak taco. Sorry.